Good morning, crafty friends, stamping friends, whatever kind of friend is out there. This is Paula being a little bit goofy this morning. So today we're just going to do a craft with me. And so I sat down a couple days ago and I was really in the mood to cut and paste. I don't know how else to say it. That's what we do, right? Cut and paste. And I got some of my old envelopes, tea-stained envelopes out, and I decided that that's exactly what I would do. So I just sat down. It was one of those days, you know, where I didn't have a lot going on in my head for the day. And I just wanted to relax. So, and then it ended up being a big thing to me. And I decided this is so much fun. I want to share it with my friends. So that's what we're doing today. We are going to be decorating tea-stained. These are some really old ones. Not old, but older tea stains. And I'd love to decorate envelopes. I have from the very beginning of doing YouTube. I'm going to show you. See, this was the first one I did. I just want to make sure I'm in the right place here. And it's an envelope. I'm doing some cards in some envelopes today. But these three are all envelopes. And I just put music sheet, cheesecloth, muslin, Tim Holtz flour, and just a little mix of things. And I thought it was sweet. And it could go in any journal, not just birds. And that's what I liked about doing the birds. Okay. And then this little girl, she was in my scrappy stuff. And I liked that the music sheet said Cinderella. And that's why I pulled out this image. And there's an Amity Bloom flower fussy cut out there in the background. Tim Holtz flower. Little tiny pastel butterflies. And a ticket. It says happy. And another one of Tim Holtz little florals. And then this is Love, Laugh, Create. And I just thought it was really cute how it turned out. And so I just layered some things together. This has muslin behind it. It's whatever came to my head at the time. I have no super plans. And these old Victorian style homes, they're either from My Porch Prints or Antique Paperia. These house prints. And I'm not doing one today, but we can do one in another video. But there's just several different houses. It's one PDF. And again, I think this came from Antique Paperia. Okay. And the little girl did as well. Okay. Now, this is a fussy cut flower back here. But I started off with this real thick tan doily. And then I ended up adding some just tea stain paper. And it was going to make it kind of lumpy. So I popped some pop dots underneath on this side to keep it flat. And then I put muslin. And then the Victorian house, a couple handmade stamps, and the word journal. And a fussy cut flower. And I just thought it was fun. It could go anywhere as well. So today, I kind of laid mine out. So maybe we could get them all done. Sorry, I was so thirsty. I had to have a drink. So everything's been inked. Everything's been cut. It's just decorating. Okay. And specifically birds. Okay. Birds, florals, that sort of thing. and my 1800s music sheet, which is almost ready to run out. So I always put my flap to the right when I do envelopes so that it fits right over the page. You know, here's your page, okay, and it fits over that way. And then you clip it at the top. And you could do it the other way if that's the direction that you are always drawn to. But in my case, I'm always drawn to the right side because I'm right-handed. That's why I think I do that. Okay, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I got up at 5, went to bed early last night, so I just feel better today. Okay, so we're just going to start adding just some decorations. I did not add any muslin or anything behind any of these yet, but I know on this particular one, I'm not interested in doing that. So we've got our music sheet. Okay, let me make sure I'm in a good place. I am. This is where I want to work, and I just wanted to make sure you could see. So Amity Bloom came out with some really pretty fussy cut florals. It's been at least a year ago, and I like that they're big and you can just tuck things in with them, and you know, just, I don't know, I don't have to layer my flowers. It just seems that there's like 4 big clusters of florals that she has on this digital. And she has amazing digitals, by the way. If you haven't seen her, it's Amity Bloom. Okay, so now this, I'm going to lay that right there and get my bird glued up. So, glued up. Get him ready to be glued down, I guess I should say. I had to make these fit, you know, these birds. I've got so many fussy cut I haven't used in a long time. And that's another thing. It's like I spent hours fussy cutting those. I know we all went through a phase where it was fussy cut birds and florals. And I was one of those people too. Okay, let's see. So now I've got to get it flipped over so I can see how I had it in here before. Let's see. I think it's just like this. I want to pull it over so there's room for my little bird. I can't really remember. I'm just going to have to fiddle. Because it really does. There really is a certain way I did him to get him to fit in here. And now I have to figure out where I put him so that he stays on the page. Maybe it was down here. Well, isn't that lovely how you plan something? I'm just going to leave him there. I'm going to make it work. I just kind of have him, I just had him where he was kind of just like he landed on a branch. But I don't want his little tail hanging off the card. So I'm trying to remember exactly where I had him. Maybe it was more down here. Yes, I knew it was somewhere down there. And I'm not cutting his tail off, just so you know. He'll be at the top of a book and he'll be fine. And if I decide to, I can when I use it. But I just felt like he needed to be like right there with those beautiful, I think they're roses. I'm going to put this little stamp that has florals. It was one of the stamps that I made back when we were all making stamps like crazy. I think that's what we do. We all see a wonderful ideal from a friend on YouTube, and it's a great community. And then we just, whatever it is that's new that week, we go nuts on. And sometimes it lasts forever, like collaging. I mean, that's something that did not come and leave. And I'm really into the slow stitching like everybody else right now. So I'm looking at this thinking, this kind of looks bare right here. And I'm trying to see what I got over here. I did not lay a bunch of stuff out. I just kind of decided this little tag is cute. But I don't know if that's too much for, it says grateful. Here's a little label that has a saying on it. I'm trying to decide if this is the saying I want it to be on here. It just says always. I think they're always beautiful. We're going to put it on there. Now, it does not have, it's not a very super dark colored label. I'm looking for a piece of fabric or something to put under it. Some muslin or something that I've already torn a couple times. This is great. This is linen. Let's do that. I do have my little, I have my bucket of linens over here beside me because you just never know what you want to put under things, right? And there's a little bit of everything in my box. I remember when I first started doing my channel, I would watch all these videos and these ladies would have these big boxes of linens and I'd be like, who could ever collect that many linen scraps? Well, it happens. And I ended up being one of those people. So this little word says always, and I'm going to put it on. Now, this may be too big, and I may change my mind. You know how that is. I was trying to get it centered, but I don't know. I don't know if it's too, maybe it's too wide. Let's cut the sides. And yes, I'm cutting them instead of tearing them because, well, basically I have no choice at this moment. That one's a little crooked, but we're just going to pull some. One thing about linen, it's a lot like burlap. You can just pull the edges really nicely. Now, I think this size will be better. I hope you guys have been having a good week. Ours has been full. We're remodeling that bathroom, and oh my goodness. That is, you know, do you ever just get one can of paint? That's what I want to know. Or do you always get back with the one can of paint you think you're going to use and then end up wasting it because it's too dark or it's not the right color, or it's usually that it's too dark. Okay, at least that's what gets me. I can't stand it when a room is super dark. Okay, so envelope number 1. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sorry. I think I just made a swallow noise or something. Super thirsty this morning, so I'm having orange juice. All right. I have had this little bird forever, it seems like. And I just think he's so cute, but I've not been able to use him in a book or on something. And now this is also an envelope. Okay, and we're going to glue the music sheet down. I love music sheet background. I'm sure you've figured that out by now with me. And so when I have the opportunity to use it, I do. I like it as a background. On just about anything, really. Cards, you name it. All right. So I'm going to do a flip through of a book in the near future that I did guest designing for. And you need to be watching for that. First part of March. Okay. Now, there we go. All right. Now, let's see where we're going to put him. I can't remember, honestly, exactly where I had thought about putting him. But I think he needs to be at an angle naturally. And he has to have a little postage stamp also. And then some flowers. These are some of Tim Holt's old flowers. A long time ago. And I just happen to still have some of them. Just happened to be in my flower stash. And I just want it kind of sitting down here at the edge of the book. Or the envelope. We're creatures of what we do every day, aren't we? I'm usually working on a book. Okay. All right. So there's how I thought. And then I found this little butterfly that just looked like he belonged. And I'm trying to remember where I had him. I think at one point I had him over here as if he landed on this little thing. But then I had him like that, and it just looked too busy. And so he ended up here on the left-hand corner so he could just fly away. That's what I'm saying. He could just fly right away. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the flowers down, and then I'm going to find some, and actually, I may put these on some cheesecloth. I should have some cheesecloth in here, but at this moment, oh, there it is. Listen, I set my box on the floor last night, and Sadie came into my room. And I know better than to set any rags or scraps down on the floor because she thinks she's hot stuff. She'll come in here and grab it like, ha ha, I got some. And she's so cute when she does it. But then she starts off running circles with it in her mouth. Like, you know, I got something and I'm not supposed to have it kind of thing. And I mean, she acts just like that. And she took off running with a piece of muslin, and I forget what the second one was. And Rick was painting the bathroom in the, you know, just close by my craft room. And I said, honey, we're going to have to trick her. Anyway, I go after her, she goes the opposite. She was like doing a chase kind of thing. Like, you can't get me kind of. You know, I'll go left, and then you come after me left, and I'll go right. And I mean, however it was. But it's like she knew, you know, all about it. Okay, now that's a little more cheesecloth than I want. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit. I just kind of want it just barely sticking out. I want it to just, you know, give it a little bit of dimension. But you get down to certain parts of the cheesecloth and it can look all ragged. Now, I'm not even trying to measure. I'm just cutting off edges. There's no thought process here going on. Nothing over the top. Okay. Yeah. The messier the better when it comes to cheesecloth. That's what I say. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put our little stamp in the corner. So I know exactly where to place the little guy. And I'm thinking I do want some muslin behind, not muslin, but some cheesecloth behind the little stamp too. I'm just going to do a little tiny piece. Not get so carried away this time. I cut a bunch the last time. This is the thing. This stuff just rolls up, doesn't it? If you don't know what cheesecloth is, it's like gauze. And you can find it, oh gosh, where do you find it? If I go to Joann's, I find it over in like the sewing notions or stuff that you use while sewing. But it's just like fabric in a package. It's just folded up and it's solid white. And so you can do it any color you want. And my favorite is tea stained. Come off of there. I'm not going to let this little cheesecloth. I just dip mine into a little bowl of coffee or tea stained water. Okay, tea stained water. I'll get it out here in a second. Look at this crazy stuff. It just has folded back up on itself. Good grief. Like fighting a snake or something. Okay. So now I'm not going to worry about trimming that right away. But I do want to make sure I have plenty of glue to hold it down. Okay. Yeah, this one got landed. It landed in a better place. Till I moved it. There we go. I changed my mind. I don't like this big bulky portion up here, so I'm going to get it cut off. And a little bit of that. There we go. All right. Now, we're going to put the little fella on here. He's so cute. Isn't he cute? You can tell he's just so furry or feathery. Wouldn't be fur. Okay, so I'm going to glue him down next. So that's what Rick and I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of slow stitching like everybody else. I used to embroidery a lot in my earlier years. And cross-stitched a whole lot. I love it. I still love it. The last big thing I did was Jesus with the Crown of Thorns. And it was all brown tones, every bit of it. And it was back when I had my back surgery. And it was like a 11 by 14 size before you framed it. It was a gift for Christmas that year. We were making gifts for each other at that time, all of the adults. And I could only paint, sew, or craft. Scrapbooking, hard making. And I had my son-in-law. And I was like, what am I going to do for him? And so anyway. I think he liked it. I haven't seen it hung anywhere, but I think he liked it. Okay, he just slid around. He's got this little, glue was seeping out everywhere. He's got this little bend in him, so I'm going to have to kind of bring him up off the paper before it glues completely down. Let's see if I can get it. Come on. You know, sometimes it just won't move for you. That's one of the nice things about Fabri-Tac. And that's one of the main reasons I like to use it. I like glitter glue too, don't get me wrong. But it is definitely not as forgiving. I could feel glue where it just kind of went everywhere. Look at that. Little glue boogers is what I call them. Little glue boogers. And if you just roll over your image like this carefully, it will do all right for you. Okay. He's so cute. Now we're going to add this little butterfly. And I'm not going to put dimension on it because I don't want it any fuller than I have to. So it's going to end up being flat, which I really like my butterflies to pop up. Okay. Now we're just going to put him right here where he can kind of fly away. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I also want to put a little bling on my butterfly. So I've got pink, gold, and clear, and I've got pearls. I'm thinking a little pearl would be cute, and this is where my glitter glue always comes in at this point. Let me put his little antennas, is what I call them. His little antennas. Okay. And I'm just going to go up where the head would be and just do a couple swipes with my marker. So he has his little, so he can hear what's going on. Okay. So I'm just going to get this. I have two sizes on there, teeny tiny and not large, but close to it. And so I always just kind of put it here at the top of his little bitey, center it. But I forgot to put my glue down. Paula, Paula, Paula. I'm going to use the excuse that it's early in the morning. Because it is. Okay, come on, out of there. Doesn't want to cooperate. So I thought what we'll do down the road in our craft with me's, we're going to be doing a few craft with me's in between all of the other stuff. And I've got to start remembering to use all my ephemera. I'll have a bunch in a box and it doesn't get used. Okay, there is the second little bird. Isn't he adorable? Where does brother go? You think this is his brother? No, I don't think it's his brother. But aren't they cute? Okay, now I'm going to get a drink. Okay. Sorry for the crunching. Got a little piece of ice with it. Okay. Now, this little guy, he's been around forever. This little bird that we're going to use this time. I'm going to glue this down first. Sometimes I will put cheesecloth or muslin behind the mat. That is what I call this, is the mat of the card envelope. This one's an envelope. Nope, this one's a card. I thought it was. Okay, so we're going to put this down. But sometimes, you know, like he's going to be a card that just kind of hooks over the side of the page, just like the envelope would hook over the side of the page. Okay. And I just thought he was cute. This little guy's so cute. And I wanted to use that bird cage. I have several of them, and I don't ever get to use them. So I was like, you're coming on here. I have nest, and I have bird cages. So this time, it's a bird cage. And I'm trying to think here where, if I want to put any cheesecloth or muslin anywhere. Look at this cute little eggs, or little nest. I have them on tags as well. As a matter of fact, this was a tag. And I love the way this bird just swoops down, gets what he wants for his nest, and then just flies right in to wherever he is going. It probably wouldn't be in a cage, but it is in our story. He'll just fly right in. Now, I think right here on this little section of the bird, we'll put some cheesecloth. Let's see if it stretches out enough. Sometimes it will. And sometimes you just have to fiddle with it. Just like that. Okay. Now this one will probably just hang out in places. Okay. Won't be on the whole thing. Or under the whole thing, not on it. Good grief. Paula. Think. Do you ever have times where you just maybe sound like you're not awake, but you are? That's today. I'm definitely awake. I had a good night's sleep for a change, which is unusual for me. Don't look at my horrible manicure. I need to go and get it done. I just haven't. My hands get so grody from crafting that I don't really have my nails done anymore. Those years are gone. Now I might for a special occasion or something, but no, they're pretty much gone. Okay, here we go. Get out of the way. Okay, so we're going to put this little nest right on top in this corner. Okay, I like the way the little bit's poking out here, here, and here. It makes it more random, and I like that better. I hope you are enjoying decorating, or crafting, or pasting and gluing, and that's what I did my whole life as a little girl, was paste and glue. Color in my coloring books. And it was always fun when you got the big pack of crayons for Christmas or a birthday. The 64, I think, is what it was. Now, I'm just going to center him from top to bottom. And him, as in him, the cage. No, I'm going to put the cage right there. And then, let's see, I might overlap it a little bit so he stays on the page. Tim Holtz has a stamp set out that has birds. And it has this bird and a nest and several other things. But this is one of the birds that's on that stamp. He's bigger than this, but he is fun to play with. His stamp is fun. There's other things on there too, and I'm trying to think. What else? It's a big bird like this, and a nest, and an egg, but I can't think of what the other thing is. Okay, so I want it to look like he's flying right at the nest. Sorry, my bracelets. Normally, I don't think I have a problem with that, but I try not to let it rattle. More little glue boogers. Okay. Okay. Get this little tail going right here. I'm going to get a little wipey here. Don't want to make too much noise if I can keep from it. So I just got my finger loaded down with some of this glue. Okay, so he is real simple, but really adorable. And there's things in my brain that I could do on here, but then I'm afraid I'll mess it up. Let me just practice on something. I'm thinking a doodle on the background, like a scallop across the top, but I need to see what it's going to look like. Let me get a sample paper here. I know I've got something that I can sample. Okay, here we go. So I'm thinking, like, this is the top of the card here, okay? I'm thinking of just scooping down. Yeah, I'm going to do it because I feel like it needs it. Now, it won't be as easy to do this as it appeared just then, mostly because there's a lot of obstacles along the way. And people will be trying to figure out, what in the world did you do on there? And that's part of the fun. And my goal is not to make them look alike. The wompier they are and how different they are makes a difference to me. Okay. So, not a big change, but you can also change them by adding a dot in the center. It's kind of hard to tell because we've got the music notes, but just so you know, you can just do this and it just gives it a big change. Okay. There we go. You could tell something's going on, right? I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But if you wanted to add like blue or something in there, see, I can't stop. This is what I do. I don't know if I have blue. I thought I did. Now, I know I have blue pens, but I mean a nicer blue pen. Huh. Oh, nope, that's not it. Do you ever feel like your pens just disappear? Well, maybe that's a sign that we need to leave it be, right? Oh, well, that's okay. All right, so here is number 3. Or actually number 1 of the cards. So I didn't make these super complicated, but I want to show you this little guy because sorry. It's hard to talk a lot whenever you're thirsty or dry mouth. Okay. So I thought with him, we might lay a little bit of cheesecloth underneath. Now, I usually do not buy and make a big old giant piece sticking out. I think what I'm going to do is just cut a section. No measurements. Don't worry about that. And if you want to save on cheesecloth, you could cut this in half. But I'm lazy. No, I just don't want to waste time on our video. So I don't know if you can notice, but I have 2 trigger fingers. And they are painful. I got one and then I got another one because they're right next to each other, and it's basically caused from swelling. And sometimes that swelling goes away, sometimes it doesn't. I've had to have a couple taken off on my other hand already, so I know what it is. Okay, so I'm going to put that underneath right here. And you just start stretching it once you do that. And I'm just gluing it down the center here like this. I hope I'm in the right direction. Yep. This is a envelope. So stretch it out again because it's had time to shrink. And if you can tell, I'm really not worrying about too much where it's going to end up. But if I want to keep it as stretched as possible, I have to keep the glue down. Like over here. And you want to stretch and lay. You know, that way it will go where you want it to. I only put glue on ahead of time on big ones like this usually. It depends on what I'm doing with it, honestly. Okay, let's get this pulled back up. It's the culprit here. It does not want to cooperate. And a little bit down here on the left lower. Okay. All right, now we need to get our music sheet down. And then you'll cover this whole thing with glue. It kind of holds down the cheesecloth and the paper. Okay, let's get this down. Sorry if I'm not real talkative. When I do stuff like this, I just have to concentrate a little bit. Are you guys that way? Some things I can work and talk at the same time without any problem. But sometimes it just, trying to straighten this up a little bit. I think I'm just going to leave it there. I like that it has that amount of cheesecloth. And you just want to push it down pretty good. Make sure, you know, because it takes a second to hold it down. Now, of course, I'm not going to keep this hanging off the side like that. Oh, my goodness, no. I don't want it to look crazy. But it'll settle in. Okay. So here we go. On this little guy, he's got a funky wing. I don't know if I chopped it off by accident or what. So he's coming from the side like this. You kind of got to look at it and make sure of what angle you could tell he's holding on and pushing over. So I'm going to cover his wing up with this little nest and eggs that Tim Holtz carries. Let's put him on first. Okay. While we know where he goes, let's put him on. Glue all the way down. You want to make sure he's covered. But if you do overkill, you'll have glue everywhere. Ask me how I know. Excuse me. I'm going to lay my card out straight good grief. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm going to put this little nest and eggs card down. Okay, now let's put a little bit behind it. A little bit of cheesecloth. Or maybe some muslin. Let's do some muslin. Just a minute. Let me see if I got a piece big enough. Now, this particular fabric is not a true muslin, so you can't tear it. It weighs like 100 pounds, and it doesn't cooperate when you try to tear. But I figure we don't have to have it cooperate. We can just do what we want and cut it however we want. Now, I was going to pick it up and hold it and show you, but I don't think we need it this big either. I can't remember if this is the fabric that does not. I think when I first started, I did this fabric. And how I did it was, I just tea stained it, and because I thought it was, you know, something you tea stain. Okay, we got a ways to go. And I don't ever worry about it being perfectly shaped either. Okay. You never know what direction you're going to go with a pair of dull scissors. Okay, we don't want it so big. I should have done this measuring ahead of time. Okay. Looking here to see exactly if it takes up too much of the space, the little bird won't have anywhere to go. He can't move. See, like that's still too big. I'll probably cut until it's too small. We're going to have to check our time. Okay, and I'm just going to lay him on here and then trim around it, I think. Because, see, all this extra stuff takes up space. I think I hear, like, garbage men or something. I'm sorry if that is loud. The sun is rising. We have beautiful sunsets here, too. And it's over the lake at night, so it's so pretty. Okay, so now, as crooked as it is, and we don't care, we're going to put this down. So just kind of spread it out where it will stay on the paper or the card. I like where he's kind of like, I'm not going to get in that nest. That's a picture. Bring me a real nest. What you thinking, lady? Okay, there we go with that. And the way he's leaning is why I did it like that. Is I just think it's like, you know, what? You want me to do something with that? No, thank you. That's what I always think. It reminds me of that. Okay, little bit of ink on your stamp. You can use real stamps. This little stamp happens to have a bird. a yellow bird on it. And I should have brought the bird down a little bit. You can tell it's not quite the same fit. Sorry. How rude, Paula. I'm going to put a couple leaves on this little flower. I kind of cut them out and just added them because this flower was just the plain little yellow flower. And so I wanted it to, you know, look like it went with this flower. Did it? I don't know. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this little leaf. Oh, good grief. Of course it wants to stick to me. We may have to do a second video to do the rest of these. Okay, so now what I want to do is get this little leaf down here. If I can even get hold of it, so I can determine where it's going to go. Yeah, this should go under a little bit more. Let's put this one right here. I think that's all right. I'm not even going to try to tear that one up. Move that up a little bit. There we go. Cute, right? And then we have our little butterfly. I think he was supposed to go up here somewhere. I don't really know where he needs to go. I originally had him up above that card, but somehow that changed when I glued it down in the wrong spot. So I'm just going to do it like this. Just kind of, it makes it kind of look like, okay, is he looking at the butterfly or is he looking at the, you know, the poster? Okay. I almost couldn't get that cap off. Do his little antennas. And we're going to put, you're right when you're thinking a yellow gem. That's what's getting put down. I just thought the yellow would look so pretty doing it so different, you know. I got glue boogies on my fingers, so there's not much hope for this little thing. He's sticky, but I'm still putting glue down. Because when you move stuff around, like even just moving things around in the box, it's going to have that opportunity to make it. Well, that was easier than I thought it would be. Usually I have to wrestle with them. Just a little bit. You want to kind of line them up with the antennas a little bit. Okay, now let me check our time. If we have time, we'll do one more, I think. It'd probably be really close. Hold on just a moment. Let me step up and check it. Okay, so we don't have time, but I don't know where that shadow's coming from. I'm sorry. My lights have not been the same since we've moved here. It's so different everywhere you go, isn't it? Let's find some light. Right there. So here's his little face. He's like, what? What? What is that? That is my bird's nest. Okay. Fly away, butterfly. I just think this one turned out. This one I think is my favorite. Isn't it funny? Because I just thought he was not that beautiful of a bird. And here's the last one of the last ones we did. Scooping in, putting some florals down. Here we go. He is adorable. Adorable. Okay. And he's a beauty. All that beautiful floral behind him. And that is what we made today. 4. If I hadn't had those stained, we probably would have only, if I hadn't cut them and inked them, we would still be working on these 4. Okay, so I want to thank you to any new subscribers. Welcome to my channel, and I appreciate it so much. And of course, I love my diehard subscribers too, who hang in there with me all the time. And I want to say to you, if you've haven't subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll look back at some of the videos and see the different things that we do. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm new to Instagram, so go check it out. And I'm still learning. I haven't even written down who I am and what I'm all about. I don't know. Probably will end up being like 2 words. Crazy lady. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that I have good content. All right. We'll see you in the next video. And I think I'll get another one ready and we'll do a part 2. All right, guys. See you in the next video. Bye-bye now.